The used Mercedes market is full of buyers making the same mistake. They search by badge, find something that looks impressive, and assume the three-pointed star guarantees quality regardless of which model or engine they are buying. Meanwhile, the cars that actually hold up, the ones with proven engines, manageable maintenance costs, and parts availability that keeps independent shops fully stocked, are sitting on lots for $8,000 to $14,000 because nobody talks about them. These are 5 forgotten Mercedes models that are secretly gold mines under $15,000, and the reasons they are priced so low have almost nothing to do with how well they are built. Number 1. The W124E320, 1993 through 1995. This is the Mercedes that engineers from Stuttgart still reference when they talk about what the brand used to stand for. The W124 generation was the last Mercedes built without a mandatory cost reduction target imposed on every component. Engineers were given a specification and told to meet it. They were not told to meet it for the lowest possible manufacturing cost. The result is a sedan with body panels thick enough to feel like a vault door, suspension components overbuilt to a standard that current Mercedes models do not approach, and an inline-6 engine that owners regularly run past 300,000 miles on basic maintenance. The M104 3.2-litre inline-6 in the E32 uses a timing chain, a cast iron block, and a cylinder head design that has never had a documented widespread failure mode in 30 years of documented ownership. I have personally worked on these engines with over 250,000 miles that still held factory compression specifications on every cylinder. And the known maintenance items are predictable and cheap. The plastic coolant components degrade with age and need replacement as a complete system. Water pump, thermostat housing, expansion tank, hoses. That job runs $500 to $800 at an independent shop. The front suspension ball joints and control arm bushings wear between 100,000 and 150,000 miles, and a complete front-end refresh runs $600 to $1,000. Outside of those two items and standard wear components, this engine and chassis ask for almost nothing. A clean 1994 or 1995 E32 with documented service history sells for $6,000 to $10,000. You are buying a machine built to a standard that Mercedes abandoned in the late 1990s and has never returned to. That standard is exactly why these cars are still running when everything built after them has been scrapped. But the W124 is not the only forgotten Mercedes where the engineering outlasted the market interest. Number 2. The W210E430, 1997 through 2002. The W210 has a complicated reputation, and I want to address it directly because the reputation is keeping the price of the V8 variants artificially low and creating a genuine buying opportunity for anyone who understands what they are looking at. The W210 generation as a whole earned criticism for rust issues on early production models from 1996 through 1998, where the wheel arches and lower door sills corroded faster than any previous Mercedes generation. That rust problem is real, and on early examples it is disqualifying. But the E430 with the M1 134.3-litre naturally aspirated V8 from 1999 through 2002 is a completely different conversation. The M113 is the same engine family that powers the reliable ML500 and the early G-Wagon, an engine with a documented path to 300,000 miles and virtually no internal failure modes when maintained correctly. It runs a timing chain, takes standard synthetic oil, and can be serviced by any independent shop without specialized equipment. The W210 rust concern on 1999 and newer examples is dramatically reduced because Mercedes updated the corrosion protection after the early production complaints. Verify the undercarriage and lower body panels on any example before purchase, crawl underneath, and look at the floor pans and subframe mounting points. A clean southern or western car from 2000 or 2001 with the E430 will show almost no corrosion. The transmission conductor plate on the 7.2 2.6 automatic that pairs with the M113 can fail between 100,000 and 150,000 miles. The symptom is erratic shifting or a transmission that gets stuck in one gear. The conductor plate costs $180 to $280 in parts and about 2 hours of labor at an independent shop. It is not a transmission replacement. It is a $400 repair that owners without this information have paid $3,500 to address at a dealer because they did not know the specific component causing the fault. A clean 2000 or 2001 E430 with documented history sells for $5,500 to $9,000. That is a naturally aspirated Mercedes V8 sedan for the price of a high-mileage economy car. If you are finding this useful, hit subscribe. I cover honest buying advice every single week, and I do not hold anything back. Number 3. The W203 C320 with the M112 V6, 2001 through 2005. The C-Class gets dismissed as the entry-level Mercedes, and buyers assume entry-level means compromised. On the W203 generation with the M112 3.2-litre V6, that assumption is wrong in a way that matters financially. The M112 naturally aspirated V6 is the smaller displacement sibling of the M113 V8. Same design philosophy, same timing chain architecture, same proven reliability track record. This engine has no documented widespread failure mode. It runs on regular 91-octane fuel, takes a standard oil filter, and owners on Mercedes forums document 200,000 to 250,000 miles on original internal components with nothing but scheduled maintenance. The W203C 320 has 2 known maintenance items worth understanding before purchase. The front suspension on this platform uses a complex multi-link design with numerous rubber bushings that degrade between 80,000 and 120,000 miles. When they go, the car develops vague steering and a tendency to tramline on highway grooves. A complete front suspension refresh at an independent shop runs $800 to $1,400 for parts and labor. Do it once and the car drives like new. The balance shaft module on the M112 has a plastic gear that can wear on high-mileage examples, the same design flaw that affects the larger M272 in later models. On the M112, the failure is less common, but worth verifying. A pre-purchase inspection by a Mercedes specialist that includes a check of the balance shaft gear costs $150 to $200 and eliminates the uncertainty entirely. A clean 2003 or 2004 C320 with 80,000 to 100,000 miles sells for $5,000 to $8,500. That is a compact Mercedes sedan with a proven naturally aspirated V6, rear-wheel drive dynamics, and a parts ecosystem supported by decades of independent shop familiarity. The market ignores these because they are old. The engines underneath do not age the same way the market perception does. Number 4. The W163 ML430, 1999 through 2001. Everyone who shops for a used ML defaults to the ML350 because it is newer and more familiar. The ML430 with the M1 134.3-litre V8 from 1999 through 2001 is priced $3,000 to $5,000 less than an equivalent ML35 for no mechanical reason that matters to a buyer who understands the engine. The M113 in the ML430 is identical to the unit in the E430 and the early G-Wagon. Same timing chain, same cast iron cylinder liners, same overbuilt bottom end that owners run to 300,000 miles. The V8 and the ML430 produces 268 horsepower and 288 pound-feet of torque, which is more than adequate for a mid-size SUV and means the engine is never working hard under normal driving conditions. An engine that is never stressed lasts longer. The ML430 has the same transmission conductor plate vulnerability as the E430. The 7.2 2.6 automatic paired with the M113 can develop shifting faults from a failed conductor plate between 100,000 and 150,000 miles. The repair runs $400 to $600 at an independent shop. Know about it going in, and it is a budget line item, not a surprise. The air suspension on the ML platform begins failing around 100,000 to 120,000 miles on original components. Converting to conventional coilover suspension eliminates the failure mode entirely and runs $700 to $1,100. And most examples on the market at this price point have already had this conversion done. Verify it before purchase. A clean 2000 or 2001 ML430 with documented history and the suspension already converted sells for $5,000 to $8,000. For a naturally aspirated Mercedes V8s SUV with a 300,000-mile engine track record, that pricing is genuinely irrational. The market priced this car on age. The M113 engine does not have an expiration date. Number 5. The W211E500 2003 through 2006. The W211 generation sits in a complicated position in the Mercedes lineup. The entry-level 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder models in this generation have well-documented issues with the balance shaft module and early automatic transmission failures that damaged the W211 reputation broadly. Buyers hear W211 and walk away without checking which engine is actually under the hood. That reaction is exactly what keeps the E500 underpriced. The E500 uses the M113 5.0-litre naturally aspirated V8, the largest displacement variant of the same proven engine family that appears on this list twice already. At 302 horsepower from a naturally aspirated V8 with no turbochargers and no variable displacement system, this engine is producing its power effortlessly. It is never near its stress limits during normal driving. I have seen these engines in the shop at 220,000 miles, with compression numbers that would embarrass engines half their age. The W211 platform does have one legitimate concern that applies to the E500 specifically. The ABC active body control suspension fitted to some E500 variants uses high-pressure hydraulic fluid to control body roll and ride height. When ABC components fail, which they do between 100,000 and 150,000 miles, the repair runs $2,000 to $5,000 for struts and accumulators. The solution is straightforward. Target E500 examples without the ABC suspension option. The standard air suspension or conventional spring setup on non-ABC variants eliminates that repair from the equation entirely. Verify the suspension type before you make an offer. The transmission conductor plate issue that affects the 722.6 automatic applies here as well. Budget $400 to $600 for that repair if the service history does not document it. A clean 2004 or 2005 E500 without ABC suspension, with documented history and 90,000 to 120,000 miles. Warden sells for $7,000 to $13,000. For a full-size Mercedes V8 sedan with a proven 300,000-mile engine, that is one of the most rational purchases in the used luxury car market right now. The thread connecting all 5 of these cars is the same engine family appearing in different bodies across different generations. The M104 inline-6 and the M113 V8 are the two engines that define what Mercedes reliability actually looks like when the engineering was done right. The market has forgotten these cars because they are old and because the W210 rust reputation and the W211 4-cylinder problems contaminated the perception of entire generations. Buy the right engine in the right body, sort the known maintenance items up front, and you are driving a Mercedes that will run well past 200,000 miles for less than the cost of a 2-year-old economy car. If you want to know which specific Mercedes engines to avoid entirely regardless of how good the deal looks on paper, that video is on screen right now.